So here, Hoynen wants us to learn how you can realize the highest truth, what we call as enlightenment, nirvana. There are many different names and labels to it. Is to look at your mind. What should be our state of mind in order to see that directly? So he is using certain words which I wanted to share with you. He says, make your mind like a empty space. We all know what a space means, a space which doesn't contain anything. If you look at our mind today, it is filled with so many things. The contents of our mind, like your thoughts and ideas and conceptions and your own emotions, all of these are contents in your mind. Let's consider that your mind is like a pot and it has so much of things filled in. What Hoynen says, you take away those contents and then see the mind as it is, as an empty space. All these contents make us think that we do have an identity and we get attached to it. So he says, make your mind an empty space. So what's the next thing you are supposed to do? Now that you know that the mind is empty, you can make your mind empty simply by meditating. So when you meditate and then bring your mind to that focus without being bothered by all these things happening outside or from our own mind, our own thoughts, we can be in that state, a state of emptiness. Emptiness is again has to be understood in the proper way. So here emptiness means the mind without any content, an empty space. From that empty space, even if you're not attaching the idea of being empty, people sometimes try to attach this idea to so many other thoughts. So here he says, if your mind becomes an empty space, you don't even attach this to an idea. And then look at the world. And then when you look at the world, without any kind of discrimination, any kind of likes and dislikes. Remember the tea example we talked about. I'm not going to say, when I have this cup of tea in my hand, I'm not going to say that, hey, this is something I do not like. I do not like this tea because the way it looks or the way it tastes. So you take away all your likes and dislikes, and you do not attach to anything when you interact with the world without these likes and dislikes or any kind of discrimination. In one school of philosophy, they may talk about discriminating things. This is good for you. This is not good. So take away the non-good things. So stick to only to good. So this is one way of approaching things. So here, Hoynen says, do not discriminate, whether good or bad. Remember, what is good and what is bad is something our mind makes it up. So therefore, there is no discrimination. So whatever life is throwing at you, you look at it without any like or dislike, and then respond to it. The response is very important rather than a reaction. So what is happening today is, so when you take your mind, it's filled with so many thoughts, so many emotions, so many fears. And then with that state of mind, when something comes to you from the external world, we try to react. All we know is reaction because we had the same kind of situation before. We bring that way of thinking and then you try to react. When you react this way, you're going to get something very bad back at you. So it becomes so much messy inside you. And then you feel upset or sad and all the other kinds of frustrations comes from that. What Master Hoynen asks us to do is make your mind an empty space do not have any kind of likes or dislikes or any discrimination, and then respond to the world. I want to give an example which we are all familiar with. When the situation that is going on around the world, when we came to know about it for the very first time, many of us do not know how to respond to it. So therefore, we just became fearful because all these things are coming from our own understanding of life from the past, from what we hear from others. So we became so fearful. We built our own thoughts and we caught up in our own emotions. And then we try to either fight with it or go away from it. So this is what happened to many of us. But if we are in this state of being responsive with a very open mind, a very clear mind, we would not have reacted, but rather we respond to it and then try to look at this in a very calm perspective and see what is going on outside and then do certain things which are necessary. So you don't have to react to it, become emotional. You don't have to do all those things. Rather, you can respond to it based on what is available to you right now in this moment. The response comes without bringing in our own thoughts. The response is something you connect with life as it is in this moment without bringing in all the so-called contents of the mind. So that's exactly what Pastor Hoynen teaches us. Try to bring that state of mind where everything is an empty space and then respond accordingly.